Now, the U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller has spoken on the new violence that occurred on Monday, and he has said that with respect to the clashes, that obviously we would, as always, urge calm and urge parties to refrain with violent action. With respect to whether we've heard from any Americans, I'm not aware of that. I'm happy to follow up with the embassy. So this is what U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller has said, reacting on the new violence. Let's listen in.
I would say, with respect to the clashes, that obviously we would, as always, urge calm and urge parties to refrain from violent actions. With respect to whether we've heard from any Americans, I'm not aware of that. I'm happy to follow up with the embassy.
CNN News 18 Siddhant is joining us on the broadcast. Siddhant, so U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller has now reacted to the new violence. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, yes. So this question was asked to Matthew Miller during the press conference, that what is US's position with regard, or State Department's position with regard to the violence which has broke out in NCR, especially in the district of Gurugram. To which Matthew Miller has replied that they have nothing much to say. All they can say is that they urge calm and urge parties to refrain from violent activities. Also, he went on to say that with respect to whether we have heard from any Americans, stuck or being caught in that situation, to which he said that he's not aware. He will definitely take a follow-up with the U.S. Embassy in India. So Gurugram is a place which has a lot of multinational companies operating from. There are a lot of there are many offices of American companies functioning from Gurugram, and perhaps this is the reason that this question was asked in the State Department's press conference. And in fact, the America has also said, the State Department has said that they will take a follow-up with the embassy with regard to any Americans being stuck in these clashes.
Also, Siddhant, what is the situation now as far as the violence that was going on in Haryana is concerned?
Well, situation is under control in many parts of Haryana. Section 144 has been enforced. In fact, yesterday, Manohar Lal Khattar, Chief Minister of this state, himself addressed the press conference, and in fact, he took all the questions of the journalists, and he has announced that situation is completely under control. Don't believe in rumor mongering. Now the compensations are being given away, and the efforts are being made to rebuild the areas which have been destroyed in the clashes, in violence. So right now situation is calm and peaceful. There is tension in some parts of Mewat, but overall situation is peaceful. We have not heard of any fresh clash or incident in last 24 hours. Practice.
All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for giving us all those details. We also have Anshul with us on the story. Anshul, so there haven't been any fresh cases of violence in the state of Haryana. So are there any restrictions that are still in place? If yes, then what are these?
So yes, over the last 2 days, there have been no reports of any sort of communal violence that has happened anywhere in Haryana. There are secluded instances where a few shops have been burned, where a religious structure was burned at least 2 days ago. In that matter as well, the police has been able to take custody of at least 16 people who had burned those religious structures. And yes, there are restrictions that still continue in Haryana, especially in the belt of Mewat, especially in Nu, Palwal, then Sona, where the violence had broken out. There are restrictions. The curfew is still imposed. Internet is still shut down, and over the next 2 to 3 days, the situation is likely to remain the same. But yes, there has been no new instances of any sort of communal rioting or communal violence that has come up in the last few days, and that is what the Haryana administration is patting its back for it. They are saying that they have been able to clearly manage the situation very, very quickly. But yes, the biggest question is that what happened in Nuh? Why was the police presence not adequate? Police presence was not sent over there to make sure that the incident does not flare up, because it was acknowledged that there is tension, there is communal tension that is harboring in that entire area, and this yatra that was supposed to be taken out, this yatra actually could have inflated the emotions, and that is what happened on the ground. And adequate police force was not present. Post that, we have seen that the Haryana administration jumped into action, and there have been several arrests that have already been made. In fact, more than 90 people have already been taken into custody by the Haryana police, and more than 116 people have been detained by the Haryana police at the same time for on charges of rioting as well. So yes, the police is doing its job at this point in time, but yes, the biggest question that still remains is why was the permission given, and if at all the permission was given for the Shobha Yatra, why weren't adequate security arrangements made? Why weren't requisite amounts of boots were on the ground, security forces were deployed on the ground to make sure that the situation does not flare up? Because yes, the kind of situation that developed in Nuh, the police was attacked, local people were attacked, media was attacked, each and every person, whatever came in the way of these rioters, each and every person was attacked, each and every property was vandalized. So yes, at this point, at least 5 people have lost their life. Out of these, 2 are home guards of the Haryana police. So this actually tells the story of how underprepared was the Haryana administration. But yes, at this point in time, over the last 2 days, there has been no new instances of any sort of violence that has been reported. There are secluded instances of vandalism that have been reported, and the police is working on it and making sure that these vandalism instances that have come to the fore, these should be stopped at the earliest.
Also, Anshul, VHP staged protest at the Badarpur border yesterday, and they in fact blocked the border also, and they staged protest in several parts of the national capital, and they have vowed to continue protesting against the Nuh violence. Can you tell us more about it?
So yes, this is the agenda of the VHP, because remember the Shobha Yatra that is carried out from Nuh, from the temple which was the epicenter of the violence. The VHP were the person who had in fact organized that Shobha Yatra, and in fact members of the Bajrang Dal were also a part of that Shobha Yatra. Now VHP has taken it against them that it is an attack against them, and hence they are now retaliating and trying to build pressure on the government so that more action could be taken, and the perpetrators of this crime, perpetrators of these riots should be brought to the book. But yes, the manner in which VHP has been holding protests not only in and around the national capital, but also Mahapanchayat was called in Manesar yesterday as well, where this announcement was made that if at all the people who have been arrested from the Hindu side for rioting and arson, if they are not released, then the VHP is going to amp up the protest. The same matter went to the Supreme Court as well, where the Supreme Court had said that it cannot be about whataboutery, since the VHP is carrying out protests and no instance of violence or hate speeches has happened till now, they are not going to stop VHP from carrying out these protests. But yes, it is up to the local police and the administration to make sure that the peace and tranquility in their area remains in control. So yes, the police has deployed, in fact the Delhi police has also deployed boots on the ground, especially in the bordering areas of the national capital, making sure that no antisocial elements should step into the national capital. So yes, the police and the administration is preparing themselves, but yes, you cannot stop anyone from protesting. And these are not protests that are carrying out, but these are rallies that are being done. If you see the legal loophole in this entire thing, these are not protests, these are rallies that are being carried out, and hence the permissions cannot be denied to them. And that is the reason why VHP has amped up the pressure that it is trying to build on the government and the administration, especially against the Haryana government.
All right, Anshul, thank you so much for giving us all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this story.